Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas here with you this morning. We are welcoming some friends from Malone University because it is that time of year again with Singing Valentines. John Peterson, who is, all right, tell me your title at Malone University.
Hi, Susie. Thanks for having me on today. I'm the Director of Choral Activities and an Assistant Professor of Music at Malone University.
And he is joined by Cassie Frazier and Ryan Neighbor, and we are going to have a cast of thousands in our second segment, but and a real treat for you, too. But right now, we're talking about chorale at Malone. So, Ryan and Cassie, how's your experience going with it?
Chorale is one of, if not the best thing that I've ever experienced at Malone, especially. Wow. I'm actually taking a year off of school, but I am still enrolled in the chorale just because it was something that I knew that I couldn't take a year off of because it's just extremely important to me.
Are you a music major?
Kind of. I have switched majors multiple times, but I'm coming back in the fall with a music major, so yes.
What would you like to do one day?
I would love to teach elementary or high school music, whichever I can get a position in.
That's awesome. Well, I know Malone's got a good track record of getting people placed.
Yes, they do. They very much do.
So cool. Ryan, how about you?
Well, chorale has been one of my passions at Malone. It's been ever since my freshman year, whenever I was almost too scared to even audition. It's been one of my favorite things that I've done there. Since then, it inspired me to actually become a music major. Singing there with those people and being around those people and watching Dr. Peterson conduct us has been a great inspiration. I'm a music ministry major now. I'm a junior.
So being a music ministry major, what would you like to see yourself doing in a few years?
Well, I would love to have an opportunity to work in the church. I've been a part of the praise team of mine for 4 or 5 years now. Mm-hmm. To be the music director of a church, to work with choir, praise team, possibly children's choir, if I could get that opportunity.
Both of you said that this was just one of your real highlights of your college experience. Can you narrow down why? What's so special about it? Is it the friendships? Is it the music itself? Where you get to go? Tell me more.
Honestly, I think it's just a compilation of everything. Singing in choral settings in general is just an experience that you'll never get anywhere else. Just 50-plus people singing the same piece of music and just watching a conductor and just being pretty much a family in that same setting. Like, you just won't get it anywhere else. And, like, yes, going to places with, like, friends that you make through the chorale and stuff. It's just some of like the best friendships that I've ever made are people in the chorale. So it's just a great experience in general.
I'm sure you'll keep them a lifetime as well.
Yes.
How about you, Ryan?
I agree with a lot of what Cassie said. For me, coming into Malone, I came from a school that had quite a small music program, and so I didn't have a huge choral experience. And then hearing Malone's chorale the first day I was there in the chorale, listening to them sing, actually, I can't quite remember what the first song it is that we did, but I remember that while they were singing, I actually stopped and was just kind of staring in awe at the sound and the voices and the music that was being made, even on that first day. And since then, going on things like retreat and tour with the other members, building bonds between the different members, it's been a great experience, and I've made some great friends, lifelong friends that I've met from the chorale.
You mentioned tour. Where have you gotten to tour to?
We are both the same age, so we came in at the same time. Our freshman year, we went on tour around Ohio, through Western Ohio, Southern Ohio, and just went to a bunch of different churches, schools, and stuff. And then last year, we went to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and then in other places through Pennsylvania, and sang again, like at churches and stuff. And we last year got to go to a few charter schools in the city of Pennsylvania and sing for them, and they got to sing for us, which was a really cool experience as well.
Let's go to your conductor here, your director, John Peterson. How does a church get to have the chorale come sing at their church?
You know, we are always open to visiting churches and schools alike. It's something that fulfills our mission and our desire to go out to our community. And essentially, we do get many invitations, depending upon the availability of the singers, because they are full-time students, and our existing schedule with performing. We do our absolute best to honor invitations as much as possible. Our larger group, the chorale, that usually hovers around 60 singers. These two students have been speaking of, but we also have a smaller group, the chamber choir, that is also able to go out to community churches and schools and community gatherings. And all they need to do is to call the music office at 330-471-8231. And Mary Haynes in the office is phenomenal, and she will get them in touch with me, and we'll see about bringing our singers to you, your church, your community.
Both of these students were very complimentary of you, and you have such a fun resume. First of all, you've been at Malone how long?
This is my 4th year at Malone.
I can't believe it.
Yeah,
Wow.
and so this is my first graduating class. It's been with me the entire time. It's very
That'll
humbling.
mean a lot, won't it? Oh, that's so fun to see them get that degree when you've known them since they were
And
just...
difficult, because like the relationships they say they build, I build them as well.
Exactly. Oh, that's something. But then you came from...
I previously taught at Bluffton University in the other side of the state, and before we came out here.
But you don't let moss grow on your Rolling Stone, because you also are directing Voce now. And
yes, I'm
how
in
did
my
that
first
happen?
season with Voices of Canton, a phenomenal community chorus based right here in Canton. I auditioned for that last spring and had the humbling pleasure of being invited to come on as artistic director this year, having a stellar season with them. We have upcoming a bluegrass and a Bernstein and bluegrass concert. We're doing some Leonard Bernstein along with a bluegrass mass in March. It's outrageous fun. It's amazing. I'm looking at your face. I know the listeners can't see it, but
we're gonna talk about some other things. Yeah. Okay. That is fun. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that'll be a great time. Also, a lot of young people get to benefit from your talent through the All-Ohio State Fair Youth Choir.
Yes.
Talk about that.
I've been doing that for going on 4 years now. The All-Ohio State Fair Youth Choir is a select choir of 200 singers from across the state that gather together in Columbus for 5 days of intense rehearsal after being chosen to join the choir. They live on the fairgrounds in the Rhodes Center, dormitory there on campus, and perform for the state fair after our rehearsals. This year we'll be taking them to the State House to perform and get to meet some of their state legislators as well.
And then they all sign up to go to Malone University when you're done.
I'm not going to lie. Some of them have chosen to come to Malone, and it's very humbling. And the best part about my work at Malone, of course, is our intentional integration of faith and learning in the classroom and in the rehearsal room and our concerts together. And I feel equally blessed by these other two opportunities in that I get to work with youth in Ohio, get to work with these amazing college students, and I get to work with adults and volunteers in our community. I feel all the more blessed because of that.
Let's talk about that, the integration of faith and learning. Cassie and Ryan, could you say, well, I'm really going to put you on the spot here because who's going to say no? But would it be fair to say that you had an opportunity for your faith to grow as students at Malone?
Oh, definitely. At Malone, one of the requirements is that you go to things called SFO, Spiritual Formation Opportunities, and they're basically like small chapels, Bible studies, or small groups that you can attend, and they're all about that, growing in your faith, sometimes expanding your faith or challenging your faith, as well as there is Gen Ed's requiring you take Bible classes, which will also help expand biblical knowledge, knowledge of theology, and again, just expand or challenge your faith, as well as a lot of the teachers will include biblical elements into their class whenever possible. Us with music classes, we've actually managed to include quite a bit. Many of our music classes will incorporate prayer or Bible study into them as well.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Cassie?
I think especially in a choral setting, just I went
Yes.
to a Christian high school, so it's kind of just the same kind of environment, but in college it just takes it a step further, and just something that Dr. Peterson really instills in us is that we are not singing notes on a page, we are not singing music, but we are singing theology. And worshiping our God through the songs that we're singing. And I think that has really grown my faith, just being so involved in music and then going to chorale and hearing that and just remembering that everything we do is worshiping and glorifying Christ.
Mm-hmm. John, that's exactly what I wanted to ask you next, because what you get to teach really is you are leading students in worship.
Indeed.
Do you see it that way?
Very much so. And in fact, we sing a lot of sacred music, and in some ways, that's the easier way when you're singing sacred texts or biblical texts in a choral setting to find the direct connection between faith and learning. But we even challenge ourselves to look at our secular music in ways that could inform our faith, or that our faith can inform our interpretation of that music. We're not just learning notes, we're not just learning music, but we are looking into the poetry, into the biblical passages we're singing, and into the texts that have been chosen, and trying to find a deeper meaning behind that. And thus, that informs our performance though we work on the technique and the nuts and bolts of making great music, the human and the expressive spiritual element of music is all the more strong because we've taken time to do that.
You have seemed on fire ever since you stepped on campus. It's honestly true. I've heard at least two of you say the word challenge. Not that the academics have been challenging or so forth, but that your faith was challenged. I thought that was very interesting. Tell me how that happened, and how did you navigate it, and how did you come out on the other side of that challenge?
Well, there's a lot of ways that, because you get to hear not just maybe the church that you grew up in, not just the same one denomination at Malone. It's very diverse. So you get to hear points from people who are Catholic, Baptist, Methodist. It's just the diversity there. And you have to understand that the fact that everything has a foundation in it somewhere, and it is legitimate in some way. So you have to think back into your faith and decide, well, why is it exactly that I believe this way? Mm-hmm. It challenges you to look back into the scriptures, to read everything for yourself and kind of make your faith your own, and to really understand it more in depth.
I used to hear a saying, God doesn't have grandchildren, that none of us are his children through our parents or what they believed, but we were all his children. And so
Indeed.
You did find that for yourselves. Have you found that for yourselves there?
Yes, definitely. Like I said, coming from a Christian school and being in a Christian setting all of your life, a lot of times it's really easy to just fall into this is what I'm supposed to do because my parents are doing it. All of my friends around me are doing it. But even coming to college, even coming to a Christian college, there are a lot of people who weren't raised in a Christian home or didn't go to a Christian school previously. So it's really humbling to just realize that you have an opportunity, even in a Christian school, to just show the light of Christ to people who may not have seen it before, and they're just coming to Malone for this, or this, but they're still getting the Christian environment, which is really awesome.
Beautifully said. One of the ways you've done that in the community is a couple months ago through Christmas at Malone. That is still one of the highlights of the Christmas season. You could travel far and wide before you found a program as polished and awesome as that. John, talk about that a little bit, because that's quite a something.
Well, I have to say I'm very, very humbled and proud of the work our students invest in that program, particularly at a time that is just before their final exams for the fall semester. That they're able to focus and worship through music and provide a wonderful music and worshipful product. At that. Each year we have Christmas at Malone. It typically features our symphonic band along with the chorale and the chamber choir, which we've already discussed today. And each year we take a slightly different angle on how we approach it. This year it was a service rather last year in 2016 was a service of lessons and carols, modeled upon that at King's College in Cambridge. The year before, it was a production of The Messiah. But the voices of the singers and the instrumentalists, along with the Christmas at Malone Festival Orchestra that we have there, just really have served as a strong tradition of the music program to usher in the holidays through music and worship.
And the next tradition and holiday is Valentine's Day. You've got the Singing Valentines coming up. We're going to find out more about those after these words. You're listening to Our Community.